And the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences have released a shortlist of movies that are eligible to compete for the Oscars. This year, it includes RRR, Gangubai Kathiawadi, Kashmir Files, Kantara and Rocketry The Nambi Effect. These blockbuster Indian hits will battle it out with 301 other movies that have also joined the Oscars race. There are several other films that have made the cut from India. Marathi films of Me Vasant Rao, Tujya Saathi Kahire, R. Madhavan's Rocketry, which I mentioned earlier, and Iravin Niral, as well as Vikrant Rona, which are also part of this list.
Watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 3 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Let's go across to our guest joining us. We have with us R. Madhavan. Mr. Madhavan, thank you so much for speaking to us. Also with us, of course, is Rishabh Shetty. But Madhavan, coming to you first, Rocketry's made it to the shortlist for the Oscars. What does this really mean for the Indian film and cinema industry on the whole?
Well, thank you very much. I'm very thrilled that many films from India have made it to the shortlist, and I'm thrilled to see the numbers. And as far as Rocketry is concerned, the entire team is quite dazed, and we feel very rewarded. The whole idea was to tell the nation and the world Mr. Nambi Narayanan's story, and I'm glad that he's getting the recognition worldwide right now, and now the Oscars. So, like we always believe, Team Rocketry will do our very best to make sure we make the best out of this situation. But we've all been rewarded because of the recognition that Nambi Narayanan sir has got, and it's lovely to see him being mobbed at the airports by children who know who he is.
And how confident are you of this making it to the final round?
Abhi Delhi Dura Bhai Sahab, there are 301 films that have been selected. So, but the thing is, I'm very happy that one way or the other, meritoriously, we've managed to make it to the shortlist. We've come this far, so what's the harm in dreaming for the ultimate reward? I'm going to believe that we can make it. I'm going to believe that we can get it, and I'm going to do what it takes to achieve that.
And there are 6, Indian movies in that list across states, across languages. Is this amongst the best of times for Indian cinema in your view?
I think it's a revolutionary time for Indian cinema. Not only are we making money with releases worldwide, but we're getting recognition, and this time to get one of the biggest, to be part of one of the biggest awards in the world is truly a good recognition. I think true talent is going to shine through in India right now. I have complete faith that we make better films than most films that are being made internationally. We have enough and more stories in our own country that can actually shake the world, and they are actually copying from us. So right. I think it's about time.
No, but the reason I'm asking is that you've worked in Hindi cinema as well as cinema from the South. Why do you think that cinema from the South and other languages as well has been more widely accepted in India now?
Films from the South have always been accepted in the North. Remakes have been made, multiple remakes have been made of older classics from Tamil into Hindi, from Hindi into Tamil. But a few actors have managed to make the crossover, which I think Kamal sir was one of the first early ones to do it, Rajni sir himself. But right now, I think the amount of appreciation for the content coming out of the South has been widely accepted among the public and in theatres as well. And rightfully so. Some of the films that have come out are truly of international quality. And so I would say that that everybody has an equal platform to excel.
Absolutely.
But every industry goes through a metamorphosis, goes through a change. And maybe Hindi industry is going through that, but I think it's extremely temporary. They have some extraordinary hits this year ourselves in Hindi as well. So it's good times and it's changing times, and we need to adapt very quickly.
Let me also bring in Rishabh Shetty on that note. Rishabh, congrats on your movie Kantara being shortlisted as well for the Oscars. What does this mean to you as well as Indian cinema in your view?
See, Indian cinema के लिए हम national award को बहुत मानता है, और अभी हमको ऐसा एक regional content को ऐसा international platform में एक Oscar जैसा एक platform में अपॉर्चुनिटी मिल रहा है, वो लोग हमको मान रहे हैं और सेलेक्ट करके अभी ऑफिशियली इंडिया के ऑलमोस्ट 9 फिल्म सेलेक्ट हुआ है. सो फील्स गुड, feels happy.
And Kantara was really a mix of, in many ways, modernity and tradition. It also sort of makes us look back at our roots. It's received a lot of appreciation, both in India and overseas. What do you believe has really resonated most when it comes to audiences?
डेफिनेटली जो इंडियन सेंटिमेंट और इंडियन वैल्यूज जो हम करते हैं लाइफ के बारे में और हमारा जो वे ऑफ लाइफ है वही एक रूटेड कहानी था वेरी इट्स अ फोकलोर तो आई थिंक वो ज्यादा कनेक्ट हुआ है ऑडियंस को.
And amongst the 300 films selected for the shortlist, as I was asking Madhavan earlier as well, Kantara is in fact one of them. There is of course RRR and at least 6 other movies. You believe that this is truly a proud moment for Indian cinema where movies from its different regions are being represented and recognized on the world stage?
इससे पहले भी अभी मतलब क्या ना भाई इससे पहले भी थे लेकिन अभी ज्यादा प्रोजेक्शन मिल रहा है और ज्यादा प्लेटफॉर्म से मिल रहा है जो हमको ज्यादा ग्लोबल ऑडियंस को रीच आउट हो सकता है अभी. So
and what about Kannada audience and Kannada cinema? What does this mean for Kannada cinema in your view? Is it going global in many ways?
Definitely, I think this bar now films. It's a proud moment for Indian cinema. So not only or South or North. It's definitely Kashmir Files हो, Kantara हो, Triple R, Vikrant Trona, ऐसे बहुत सारे films. Definitely, it's a proud moment. And अभी मतलब इस समय ज़्यादा recognition मिल रहा है और लोग भी ज़्यादा मान रहे हैं.
And personally, are you in favor of terms like Bollywood or Collywood or Sandalwood as Kannada cinema is called or Tollywood? You believe that it's fair to compartmentalize the Indian cinema in this way?
Definitely, it's becoming an Indian cinema. I think it's like अभी एक Kannada regional Indian cinema ऐसा हो रहा है. अगर हम कन्नड़ा में एक फिल्म किया तो it's become a Indian cinema. So that is a better way after COVID and lockdown के बाद लोगों को इतने OTT की वजह से ज़्यादा इंटरनेशनल फिल्म जो या वर्ल्ड सिनेमा देखने मिल रहा है तो इसलिए ये सब लैंग्वेज बैरियर हटा के इंडियन सिनेमा बन के लोग के सामने आ रहा है सब लोग.
And many are also asking what's the road ahead for Rishabh Shetty after Kantara?
देखते हैं उसे कुछ अनाउंस करने समय में मैं बताता हूँ. अभी 100 डेज कंप्लीट किए हम लोगों ने थिएट्रिकल रन OTT आने के बाद भी हम कन्नड़ा में 100 डेज कंप्लीट किए और भी थिएटर में है और हिंदी में भी थिएटर में है. सो एक बहुत वेरी रेयर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो अभी भी हमारा ऐसा कुछ अभी ऑस्कर का कुछ चल रहा है तो देखते मतलब मैं जान के बाद कुछ सोच रहा हूँ.
All right, Madhavan, some would also say that the Oscars are important, but do we need Western validation? How would you respond to this?
Oh, I think they're absolutely right. I tend to agree with it, but it's not just a question of validation. For people like us, I could understand why they say it, but for the rest of the people involved in the unit, the 300 people, Mr. Nambi Narayanan, for everybody, it'll be a validation that will live through their lifetimes. So I don't think there's any harm in it, but it's not the be-all and end-all for sure.
And you also believe that the experience of Nambi Narayanan and what you chronicle about him in the film has led to greater awareness?
Well, thank you for that question. I do believe that we've reached where we wanted to with the reason behind why we made the film. I was bowled over by what Mr. Nambi Narayanan told me. I was impressed and I was moved to tears. But to think that urge, that emotional reaction would make me a writer, a director, a producer and an actor and would reach this far was not something that I was expecting or hoping for. All I wanted when I started this film and the entire team wanted was to make sure that Nambi Narayan's story is told worldwide and another Nambi Narayan doesn't happen to any country. So for us all this is super big bonuses.
All right, Rishabh Shetty and R. Madhavan, thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us, explaining to us the road ahead and what the plans are. And all the best to you and, of course, your entire team for making us proud with the 2 films that have certainly made a mark on this international platform. Thanks so much for joining us.